Headed into this week, it was all about the Fed policy meeting on Wednesday. We talked about it. It was all over the news. The media actually loves when the Fed is going to speak. It gives them something to write about. However, by the end of the week, it was all talk about tariffs, the negotiated trade agreement between the UK and the US, and the fact that the US and China were going to sit down this weekend. My name is Kevin Wemark, aka the Mortgage Mouth, and thank you for tuning in to the Friday wrap-up. And just like I stated, we started out the week with rates moving slightly higher, and that was due to ISM Services Index, indicating that maybe prices are on the rise. Once again, the fear of inflation continues to creep in. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But that pushed rates a little bit higher, only to have a correction come with the 10-year auction. The 10-year auction was great, kind of saved the day, pushed rates in the total opposite direction. The Fed came out. The big news was, what is the Fed going to say? What are they going to do? And it wasn't more about what the Fed was going to do with regards to the Fed funds rate, because there was a 0% chance they were going to do anything. Again, I'll shout it here from the rooftops. That first cut is not coming until September. But it was more about what they were going to say at their press conference. And kudos to the Fed. The first time I've said it, I think it's been at least 3 years. Kudos to the Fed for not really saying much. They said a lot of nothing, which was fantastic. They indicated they're clearly have uncertainty lying ahead, uncertain where inflation's going to go due to the tariffs, uncertain are the tariffs going to slow the economy, blah, 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 blah. And they indicated that there was going to be 2 more Fed funds rate cuts. So by Wednesday evening, rates moved down again. We were a little bit excited, only to have fiscal policy come back into play. And what do I mean by that? By Thursday, there was an announcement that the UK and the US had settled a trade agreement. And what's happening there is, as these tariff agreements come into play and as these talks continue, especially with the big players like China, the UK now is already off the table. Next we'll have Canada, Mexico. It's getting traders to feel optimistic about the economy. They're starting to feel better about what's going to happen in the future. And when that happens, they don't need to be sitting in bonds. There's more money to be made. As we can see, crypto was up to 103 today. We had the Dow pause a little bit, but it's already recovered all of its losses. That feeling of optimism is going to be something that's going to move money from treasuries, and it's going to move them over into stocks, into crypto and things of that nature. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And we saw a little bit more of that movement today. Friday was fairly flat, but that's really what's going on right now, is traders are feeling optimistic, and that is a bad sign for interest rates. So the one thing that I think they can really, the main message that I've been preaching for all of 2025 has been, you got to lock in these valleys. You got to be working with the right professional, and you got to be introducing your clients to the right professionals to make sure that when these valleys happen, that they take the opportunity to lock in those rates. They know when the potential valley may happen. They know when the peaks are going to happen so they can ride them out. Next week on the table, we are going to get heavy into inflation. We have CPI coming back around on Tuesday. We then have PPI on Thursday. And should inflation come in hot, and we come off the weekend where there's news of the US and China negotiating a potential deal, talks went well, whatever that vernacular is, and then we get a reading of higher inflation, you can be certain that rates are going to move even higher next week. So make sure, once again, that you're prepared for exactly your situation, whether it be a refinance, whether it be a purchase. You know exactly when might be the best time to pull the trigger. All right, y'all, if you have any questions over the weekend, please do not hesitate to give me a call. As you know, I am always working. Flyer, pre-approval, you just want a rate quote so that you can help your clients out. You need me to run some numbers for your clients, whatever, just for you. More than happy to do it. Just ring me up, shoot me a text, or send me an email. All right, everyone out there, have a great weekend. Happy selling. I'll be coming to you on Monday with the week ahead, as well as another episode of the Daily Dose. And make sure you hop over onto that YouTube channel, The Mortgage Mouth. I would love a subscription.